Okay, so here is our second bit. We have the order of sharps and the order of flats. So you can know either one of them and figure the other one out. For me, it's always easier to remember the order of flats, probably just because I learned it first, bead, G, C, F. Or if you know fat cats go down alleyways eating bacon, or whatever works for you, whatever mnemonic. I just always remember bead GCF, and then I can flip it around, make a mirror image of it for the order of sharps. Now, this was a part that we were like, ooh, how does this work? So an important thing, what I saw on a few people's was that sometimes your sharps were written right on top of one another. You want to be really careful about that and make sure that they're spaced out a little bit so that you can tell which one goes from left to right. So you need to leave a little bit of space between them as you go from left to right. And this does matter. You can't put F sharp down here and then C sharp here. It has to be this first one that is up on the top line. It has to be this one. Okay, then we're going to add, whoop, just kidding. Here we go. We're going to add G sharp, D sharp, A sharp, E sharp, and B sharp. Okay, so an important thing to notice here is that I've left some space. I've left some space between each one where you can tell that this is number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, right? If you don't leave that, it's hard to tell. And when we actually write these out, that distance is important. Now, I'm kind of exaggerating the difference between when you actually look at a key signature. They probably are a little closer together, but they just can't be on top of one another. Now, for the bass clef, we're going to start on F sharp right there. So we have F, C, G, D, just kidding, A, E, and B. So it's the same thing, similar patterns, we're just starting on different lines. That one starts on F sharp up here, this one starts on F sharp down here. Now for our flats in treble clef, we're going to start B flat, B, E, A, D, G, C, F. And again, the flats are pretty great because they're very orderly. Same thing, we're going to start B flat, E, A, D, G, C, F. Everybody did a pretty good job of keeping their flats separated. They weren't really on top of one another, but the sharps were a little more difficult. So make sure that you're given some space so that you can tell which one comes next from left to right. Now, we said, hey, give a try to the circle of fifths. So C major, no sharps, no flats. Now, if you're somebody who doesn't have the circle of fifths memorized, where you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, here's G, and so on, what you can do is look and use your rules for sharps and flats to figure out what the do is. So this last sharp is F sharp, up a half step is G. Then we have D, because our last sharp is C sharp. A, our last sharp is G sharp. E, our last sharp is D sharp. Now we start getting into where we share sharp and flat keys. It doesn't matter which one, where you put the sharp. This could be sharp, this could be flat. It doesn't matter which one you choose to use. But for the sharps, you have A sharp as your last sharp. So that's going to be B major. And a good way, even if you don't remember, if you only remember the sharp key, This is the enharmonic key of that. So we have B major, meaning that it's also going to be C flat major. And it also is because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, back, C flat. Okay, so let's go around, do our next one. We have F sharp, C sharp, G sharp, A sharp, E sharp, or F, C, G, D, A, E. E sharp up a half step is F sharp. And then of course we have the enharmonic of that. We can also look B flat, E flat, A flat, D flat, G flat. So we have F sharp major and G flat major. Here we have F sharp, C sharp, G sharp, D sharp, A sharp, E sharp, B sharp. Up a half step from B sharp is going to be C sharp major, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, back to the fourth, D flat major. Then we have flats all the way back. So we have 1, 2, 3. It's going to be A flat, E flat, B flat, and then F. Now, an important thing to remember, something I saw a lot of folks do, was I saw that sometimes folks had F here, but then they also had F here. Because they're two different key signatures, F sharp is going to have all of these other sharps in it as well. F, regular old F major, is going to have one flat, right? So it's important to make sure that you check. Now, some of y'all, you just have this memorized and you know up 5, G, D, A, E, B, F sharp, C sharp, and then here's where we kind of have to get on the flat train, A flat, E flat, B flat, F, and then back to C. So you can either memorize it, but you can also check your work by looking at the sharps or the flats that are in the key signature if you ever get lost. Because things tend to get a little tricky and slippery, like down in this area here where we have these two different things where it's like, oh, we have the enharmonics, we have C sharp and D flat. They're different key signatures. One has, 7 sharps and the other has 5 flats. They're technically different keys, but they're both listed here. All right, so these 3 at the bottom are kind of a mess. Make sure that you check those. All right, I'm going to make a video for the next part.